So hi everyone. My
Hello.
my name is Gellis and this is Infinite Modesty Design. I'm here hanging out with Nadia.
Hey everyone.
She's of course one of my very own fashion Infinite Modesty students. And we are here to talk a little bit of sewing and fashion today. But first, those who don't know about us, of course, we are located in Toronto. We are a Toronto Sewing and Fashion Studio. And we do teach online as well as offline sewing classes. And we also do various different sewing services as well. I'm very thrilled to have one of our very own fashion student online today. And I want to apologize as well that we are a little bit late. We had a little technical issue. So this is the very first time we kind of connecting on Zoom today, not Facebook. But I really want to thank Nadia for her patience, and I would give her the opportunity to introduce herself. So go ahead, my dear.
Okay, hi, my name is Nadia. I'm a sewing and fashion student with Gellis. I actually started my fashion career learning with Gellis, and now I'm actually a student at Ryerson.
Awesome, fabulous. And you're still currently my students, right?
Yes,
I
yeah,
think,
I actually still am.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I think it's just COVID that kind of slowed the process down, right?
yeah,
So we had to
yeah.
start back again. Excellent. Okay. So what I want to ask you nowadays is that how did you get started in fashion? Because I'm always fascinated to find out how did you start it in sewing? How did you start it in fashion? So how did you start there?
I started actually in a funny way. I started actually as styling as a hobby because I actually started in business and I was in HR, like human resources management. And I used to do styling on the side as a hobby for fun. And I noticed that I was really good at it. So then I started styling for like some of my friends. And then I started styling movies and music videos. And then from there, I went into costume design because I really liked putting together certain pieces, but I want to also make the pieces. So from costume design, now I'm into more like ready to wear fashion.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that was your beginning foundation, I would say, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome,
exactly.
awesome, awesome. That is very nice. And I know you had sent me some sketches that you had made some
Yeah,
time ago. So that's like one of your passion to sketch those designs.
yes, definitely. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Wonderful, wonderful. So, what I'm going to ask you here is, how did you connect with us? How did you connect it with Infinite Modesty Design? Like, how did you know about us?
Oh, it's a really funny story actually. You had posted like an ad in the Toronto Star a few years ago, and my mom actually saved it. And she kept telling me, "Oh, when are you gonna sew? When are you gonna start sewing? You're always talking about how you want to start sewing, so you should start sewing." And she like gave you a call, and then my mom actually like hooked us up. So if it wasn't for my mom, I never would have met you. But yeah, and like she just always just kept encouraging me, and I don't know why she always just had this feeling about you, and I hope that like your other future students have this feeling about you too. It's a very comfortable to sew and like be in fashion. You always make your students feel good about their weaknesses and emphasize their strengths.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, dear. I am so happy to hear that. And you know, the funny thing is that I'm just gonna go back to your mom's story again. When I put an ad on, I think was on one of the newspaper. I don't think anybody, no, one person had called me, but the person never really take interest. And then everything just go down the drain. And I thought, okay, no, that was just a waste of money putting my money that because nobody really, didn't really get any clients.
Yeah, they didn't
And a
contact
couple
you.
months, a couple months after, this wonderful voice come on the phone and say that I saw you because I always ask people, where did you heard about me? That's a norm question for me. And she said, it was in the Toronto Star. And I was like, huh?
Yeah, she stayed here for
Interesting.
2 years. Honestly, 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a while. So I'm so, so happy that your mom actually called me that day. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Me too.
Yeah, you're very, very welcome. You're very welcome. So I'm gonna go back again to your experience. So how was your experience learning that? I know you did mention a little bit about how I taught you and all that, but how was your personal experience, like the overall experience? What did you make? How was the process? Give me
I
a
had
little
a really wonderful experience with you and like with the other students too. I really learned to like get out of the box with my sewing because I used to only hand sew and I was really afraid to use the machine. So
bit.
I also didn't know how to thread the machine, so that was another tough thing. And you made it really easy because you gave me like a paper guide, and not just that. If I had a question, I could just ask you. I didn't feel afraid like you were going to be mad if I said, "Oh, how does this work?" or "How does that work?" And I like that you always had like a step by step guide, so that always like when I was afraid that I could like go back to that guide, and I would be able to like make the pieces I want to make instead of sitting there and saying, okay, I'm going to stop now because I'm actually afraid and I don't know what to do. So
Right.
from there, I started making. First, I made a skirt with you, and then I actually started creating my own patterns for like hopefully in the future other lines that I would make.
Of course, and hopefully in for further future for your
Yes,
fashion line.
definitely. So that was really nice. It was nice to create something and then also learn how to create something of my own.
Awesome, awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. So I'm gonna ask you the next question. So you better show me that whatever you made. I want to see, girl, for sure, for sure.
Sure, hopefully you can see me from here. We made this skirt together. This is the one we worked on together.
Fabulous, fabulous, awesome, awesome. And I think we had pockets in that, didn't we? We
Yes,
had.
it has pockets too. So that
Yep.
was a really cool thing because actually when people teach you how to draw to make skirts, they don't show you pockets. So that
Right.
was really nice if you can see here.
There you go. There
And
you
then
go.
we also because like I like it to fit like really tight, we put a zipper on too. So that was nice.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
Wow, very, very nice. And it still look fresh anyway.
Yeah, it actually is. I kept it really nice. Yeah. And this is like one of the patterns I made with Jalise. It's a top. It's still like a little bit in progress because I haven't finished the neckline, but
What-
it was like this. Hopefully you can see the sleeves. It was the
So
short
it was
sleeves.
made out of muslin. So
It's
yes,
muslin, yeah, because this
yeah,
is a pattern. This is not actually like this is not to wear. This is what you would make the clothes from. And if
yes.
you can
The sample
see
first. Yeah,
here, we
absolutely.
did some. Julie's taught me to do this pleating on the sleeve, and it helps you to bring. If your sleeve is too big, it helps you to bring it in because when you're designing, you can find that when you do the armhole, sometimes the arm is too big, so you don't
Right.
want to like make it uneven. But the best way to do it is to pleat it. So not a lot of people know that, and I didn't learn that from school. I learned that from Julie, so it's
Right.
really worth it to go to her.
Awesome. On that, awesome. I'm very happy you said that. On that note, I think when my very first class, I had a lady, and that was the same thing. She had a sleeve, and it was too big, so she thought,
Yeah,
okay, maybe if it's too big, let me just cut out the extra part that is too big.
I always thought to do that.
Yes, so I heard that before, so I'm very happy. I'm very
Yeah,
impressed with that.
that's one thing you showed me the right way to do it. So
There you go. So that's pretty much what we are about at Infinite Modesty Design, to ensure that you do it, of course, the right way.
yeah,
Definitely.
professional sewing, professional quality sewing, definitely.
There you go. Thank you, dear. I'm so happy. I'm very, very happy that your experience was wonderful.
Yeah,
All right. So, do you have any tips you have for students? Like students, what are they just want to sew in, just in general? Any advice you have for, because I have a lot of people that say, what, I really want to start my sewing, I really want to start my fashion brand, I really want to start, but I don't know where to start. That's something that people always, I hear that all the time. So is there
yeah,
any tips you may have, anything at all
yeah.
that you have for them?
I think my advice would be to approach you honestly and let you know what their sewing goals are because you have so many different classes. So if you can understand what the person wants to do, they can maybe fit into your classes. Like you had a class for sewing a blouse, you had a class for sewing a skirt, sewing like a hat. Oh, sorry, was it a hat? No, sorry. The little flower, the cute little
Yeah. So,
flower designs.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
so like depending on what the person is, like don't be afraid to sew. That's I was afraid to sew. I was afraid to use the machine. That's why I would always like hand sew. And you made me feel really comfortable. So I would say don't be afraid to sew at all. Like put yourself out there, try to take this class. Like just take one class and see how it goes, and if you're interested or not. Because that's what I did, and it was honestly worth it. That after that first class, I always wanted to be there. I wanted to be there more than I wanted to be in university, honestly. Yeah, I really did because it was that fun.
Right, right. So one thing I would say in this case, beside having the structure class, skirt, blouse, dresses, I also
Mhm.
have private classes, as you said.
Exactly.
I don't have hats specifically, but if you want to learn to
Yeah,
make hat,
sorry,
and
I meant the flower. Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if the person want to make hat and they have no clue and they want, call me
Yeah,
up and let
that's
me
what I
know,
want
then
to
we could definitely form in the class. Absolutely, absolutely. So you're so right on that. So you just had to voice your opinion, and probably I
Yeah.
can help you on what direction you need to go. There you go. I am so, so, so thankful that you're on here today. Now, what do you think about online class? Because the for this pandemic, it actually helps me to think a little bit outside the box, right? Um, how do you view online sewing classes? Do you think it's something that people, that you, for instance, would even invest your time, invest your resource in, or how do you think it's, for the world today? How do you view online sewing classes? Do you think it's a positive, is a negative? What is your view on online classes?
I personally like your sewing videos because they're very step by step. You don't miss any steps. You every single thing you cover it from beginning to end. But personally, I don't like online schooling, but I like your online schooling because you care about your students. You're taking the time to put the steps in that they need to do. So if somebody to like was like to take your online course, they wouldn't have to say, "Oh, I missed out on this or I missed out on that." They could like watch your video and actually make something like by
Right.
themselves. So I
Right.
would say, yeah, I think that people should take your class like online if they can't make it in. It's okay. Like obviously, COVID has made people afraid to be out in public and whatnot, and that shouldn't stop you from sewing. Like Jaleesa is creating an opportunity that you can try and be a part of it, even virtually. So if that's an option for you, you should definitely do it. I think.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you should definitely do it. So I'm
Ah,
working on I'm working on online class. And the good thing with me for the online classes now, it would be a little bit more what should I say, not expensive in the sense that online because you're in your own home, right?
yeah.
In their own home, they can learn at their own pace, opposed to coming to my class, on which of course if you're in Toronto and you want to come to my class, come on board, no problem. But definitely I'm also trying to transition for online. And I have been getting a positive feedback, of course, from you as well. And that would be one of my focus as well, moving on in this sewing and fashion world. Yeah,
Another
for
thing is
sure.
that even though you're doing an online class, you have a Facebook group where you can always communicate. So if a student had a
Absolutely.
problem where they didn't understand something from the video, because sometimes we're human beings, we don't always understand each other
Absolutely.
the way the other person was trying to convey the message. So that way, if they have a question, they can always contact you directly. So it's not like they're missing out on that experience that they would have had with the teacher. So
Right.
you're actually still like making up for it online.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you have a great point that the Facebook group definitely to communicate. That's one of the key points I will be doing as well, to
Yeah.
ask your question in the group and let's get sewing. And yeah, awesome, awesome. I'm so excited. I am so excited. So I have just a few more questions for you. Don't worry, I'm
Sure.
not gonna grill you too much again.
Oh, it's okay. That's what makes so much fun.
Exactly. So what is there is a saying that that people say, I find peace in sewing, I find a sense of accomplishment in sewing, I find relaxation in sewing. Like, what is your sense that you find in sewing overall? Like when you sew, what world are you into? What mood are you into? Sort
I
of.
feel really happy sewing with you, sewing on my own. It makes me
Mhm.
feel good to like create something out
Mhm.
of out of something raw. Like to take a raw piece of fabric and some buttons, and you actually put together something that you can use.
I am telling you, girl.
Yeah, that was really fun. And before, I was actually really intimidated to actually do that because when I would sew, I would always struggle to put the seams together. That was a really like big problem. But like when I kept practicing with you and you kept saying like seam to seam, and another trick I liked that you did was you told me to put a pin from one end of the seam to the other. So when you have to sew it, it's always the pin holds it together instead of you like going all over the place and you're trying to hold and sew at the same time. The pin actually just keeps it all together, and
Yeah.
that's a really good sewing tip. I don't think a lot of people know that. So that's what I learned from you.
Yeah, and those things, that is a little detail that makes or breaks the garment. Exactly. That's
Definitely.
what make couture garment or just a garment itself. So
Yes.
those little things. So I'm very happy that you learned that, of course, from Infinite Modesty Design.
Yeah.
Definitely, girl. All right, all right. Okay, so last point here. I know you also have when you came to my class, you also had your sister with you. So definitely I would be for sure talking to her next to hear her opinion. So let her know that she will be next on my live for sure.
Yeah, of course.
All right, all right, all right. So what I want to do here now, I just want to say, is there any way people could find you online? Like, is there any platform at all that you
Um,
have people could follow you on any social media? Yes, no, like.
yeah, you can follow me on Facebook if you want. I'm also in the fashion group that Julius has. Yeah, I'm also in there if you want to talk or anything. You can send me a message. I don't mind. Yeah.
Exactly, of course, of course. And the thing is, Nadia do a lot of beautiful sketches. You don't have anything on hand right now, and don't worry if you don't have. Maybe
Yeah,
our next live, you definitely would have.
yeah.
Yeah. So Nadia is a very excellent sketcher. Like she could sketch your garment very well, and I think and you're also doing that in school as well, right? I think
Yeah,
that's one of your main.
that's what we were doing in school. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So she would be the next big thing. So just mark her face. Trust me, she would be the next big thing by
Yeah,
the
well,
grace
Julie
of
will be
God.
right there beside me because she's the one who taught me.
Of course, girl. Of course, of course. Okay, so one more thing I want to say here, and this is our final remarks here. There is peace in sewing. What would you say about that? There is peace in
Yeah.
sewing.
I think that the peace that's in sewing is honestly the Lord Jesus. And I know that not everybody else agrees, and that's okay. But for me, I find that sewing also brought me closer to God and closer to you. And I had that relationship with God first because it made me be more compassionate about people who don't understand what I understand, or what I don't understand what others understand.
Absolutely. So there you have it, brethren. So there is peace in sowing, but there's ultimate peace, and that ultimate peace is in Jesus Christ, who is the Prince of Peace. I want to thank you guys so much again for joining us on our live today. And if you do have an interesting topic in sewing and you want to talk about it, kindly send me a message. Of course, we could connect and we could probably could be on our next live. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you find value in this video, kindly give it a like, share, and we will see you on our next live. Thank you so much, darling, for joining me today, dear.
Thank you, please. Bye, everyone.
Bye.